Which is easier, having advantage or learning to overcome adversity? The fire that shapes us. There was a season in a young woman's life when everything seemed to collapse at once. She lost someone she loved deeply. A friendship she thought would last forever slowly faded into silence. In rooms once filled with laughter, she now felt invisible, like a shadow standing at the edge of other people's light. No dramatic music played. No audience clapped for her endurance. It was just her, and the weight of pain pressing against her chest every morning. Loss, trauma, rejection, the quiet sting of being left out. Pain arrived uninvited, like a storm that doesn't knock before breaking down the door. At first, she saw it as an enemy. Why me? What did I do wrong? Why does it hurt this much? And maybe you've asked those questions too. Because pain has a way of making us feel singled out, as if the universe chose us for some cruel experiment. But what she didn't know then, what many of us don't realize when we are in the middle of it, is that pain is not a destroyer but the pressure that forms diamond, the heat that molds steel. Yes, pain is a builder. Think about the human body. When a muscle is stretched and strained, it tears, but not to weaken. It tears to rebuild stronger. When the skin is wounded, it scars, not as proof of fragility, but as evidence of survival. Pain is the body's teacher, and emotional pain is the soul's instructor. But lessons rarely feel comfortable. After weeks of feeling lost, the young woman did something small. She stopped running from the pain and started listening to it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" she began asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift changed everything. Loss taught her the value of presence. Trauma taught her boundaries and self-awareness. Social exclusion taught her self-worth, the kind not dependent on applause. Pain had not come to punish her. It had come to prepare her. It stripped away illusions. It exposed weak foundations. It forced her to confront parts of herself she had ignored for years. And slowly, not overnight, something remarkable began to happen. The very experiences that once made her feel broken became the raw materials of her growth. She became more compassionate because she understood suffering. She became more resilient because she had endured storms. She became more discerning because she had learned the cost of ignoring red flags. Pain became her forge. You see, iron doesn't become steel without heat. A diamond doesn't form without pressure. And character rarely develops in comfort. This does not mean pain is pleasant. It does not mean we should seek suffering. But when pain arrives, as it inevitably does in every human life, we get a choice. We can let it harden us, or we can let it refine us. The same fire that melts wax hardens clay. The difference is not the fire, it's the material. Pain exposes what we are made of. And more importantly, it reveals what we can become. The young woman eventually realized something powerful. The moments she wanted erased from her story were the very chapters that gave her depth. Without loss, she would not understand gratitude. Without trauma, she would not recognize her strength. Without exclusion, she would not have discovered her individuality. Pain was not the end of her story. It was the turning point. And maybe that's where you are right now, in the turning point. Maybe you're navigating heartbreak. Maybe you're carrying memories that still feel heavy. Maybe you've felt unseen, unheard, or undervalued. So hear this. Pain is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you are human. And when approached intentionally, pain becomes fuel. It sharpens clarity. It deepens empathy. It strengthens resolve. It forces growth where comfort would have allowed stagnation. Imagine a life without pain. No setbacks. No rejection. No loss. It might sound ideal, but it would also be shallow. No depths. No resilience. No transformation. Pain gives weight to joy, contrast to success, meaning to healing. The goal is not to glorify suffering. The goal is to recognize its function. Pain is a signal, a messenger, a catalyst. Says, something needs attention. Something needs strengthening. Something needs to change. When you stop fighting the message and start learning from it, pain shifts from being a burden to becoming a blueprint. A blueprint for boundaries. A blueprint for purpose. a blueprint for growth. And one day you may look back, not with resentment but with gratitude. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it shaped you. Because the very thing that tried to break you revealed the power within you. This channel is for that journey. For those who refuse to let pain define them, but instead allow it to refine them. For those who understand that every scar tells a story of survival. For those ready to turn wounds into wisdom. Because pain is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. And sometimes, the most powerful version of you is waiting on the other side of what hurts. We all have battles to fight. Never excuse yourself. The world breaks everyone. Never pity yourself. Welcome to the journey, for out of difficulties grow miracles. The most certain way to succeed is always to try one more time. Welcome to the transforming power of pain. The fire that shapes us. History is filled with stories of people who faced impossible odds and refused to give up. These are the stories the world should never forget. Thank you for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe.